Good morning, everyone at the International Community School in Abu Dhabi. Good morning to your teacher, Miss Afa. Good morning to Year 3. Hello, hello, hello. Salam alaikum. My name is Alistair Humphreys. I am an adventurer and an author. I am the guy who wrote The Boy Who Bite the World book, which you've kindly been reading in class. Thank you so much for reading my book. I'm sending you this message from rainy England. I don't know if you can hear, but it is raining so hard here today, which I would guess is not what's happening with your weather in Abu Dhabi. It's great. I love getting messages from different schools in different countries of the world. It's brilliant. So you've asked me some questions and I will get on and answer them straight away. I haven't looked at the questions yet, so it's going to be a surprise for me. Question 1. Why did you create this story? Why did I create the story of The Boy Who Bite the World? Well, I Alistair, man, myself, cycled around the world. I did the route that you've read about, that Tom did. The adventures that Tom had were things that actually happened to me. So it's basically a true story. I cycled around the world, and then I wanted to write a book that would be something that children would enjoy as well. So I started writing my story, but in a way that hopefully you guys as children would enjoy. And I started to think the best way to make children interested in the story is if I make a child the star of the story, so that you guys can start daydreaming like, ooh, Tom is going around the world, maybe I can go and have adventures of my own. So I wanted it to be something that the readers, children, would connect with and think, oh yes, I can do this as well. So that's why I turned myself into a boy. You'll notice in the book I don't say how old the boy is, so that it can be the imagination. So I hope when you read it, you're imagining a boy about your age. I hope maybe you're imagining yourself having the adventures he has. And so yeah, that's how I ended up with the idea. The second question of why did you make Tom cycle around the world is because actually I made myself cycle around the world. I spent 4 years on my bike cycling around the world. Since then I've done lots of other adventures. Actually, maybe can you see here? Look at that. I've got a car license plate from your neighbour's Dubai, which I found when I was walked from Oman to Dubai through the empty quarter desert. That was one of my adventures. Actually, when I finished, I popped over to Abu Dhabi for a little visit for a few days. So I've been to your corner of the world too. How long did it take you to write the story? It takes me about 1 year to write one book. I'm trying to start to go a bit faster, but it's roughly 1 year, one book. Although this year, I'm hoping this year to write 3 books. I'm on a mission this year to write some books. What is your favourite food? Is it banana sandwiches? Yes, you'll know that Tom eats a lot of banana sandwiches. When I cycle around the world, I also ate a lot of banana sandwiches. I have to say, not quite as many as Tom. I did exaggerate it. I said there were more in the book just for fun. But when you're on an adventure, a banana sandwich is a really good thing. It's cheap. It's got loads of energy. It's pretty healthy, and you can shove it in your mouth really quickly and then get on with cycling. It doesn't need much cooking. So I do like banana sandwiches. It's not my favourite food. My favourite food, I love food from Asia. Definitely my favourite continent. So Chinese, Indian, Japanese, Cambodian, Thai, yum. But I also really like Middle Eastern food as well. I love my hummus and falafel and baba ganoush and tabbouleh, and all the lovely hot flatbreads. The meze, and a real great feast I love. When I cycle around the world, I was in Syria and Lebanon during Ramadan. So the iftar, the feast at the end of the day, when you're a cyclist and you cycle a long way, that was a great time for the really kind people inviting me to their house, sharing their feast. Very good. Making me hungry now. It's not even lunchtime yet. Is Tom real? Well, Tom in the book is me, shrunk down to a younger age, and then Tom is also real because Tom is the name of my son, my boy. When I wrote my book, I thought I'll name it after him. How long did it take Tom to cycle around the world? Well, it took me 4 years to cycle around the world through 5 continents and 60 different countries and 72,000 kilometres. Would you like to? What would you take with you if you were going on the adventure? Well, I'm going to ask you. I'm doing all the work here. I'm going to ask you the question. What would you take with you on the adventure? You read about what Tom has. He has just his simple camping gear, his simple cooking equipment, things to repair the bike. What would you take if you were going to cycle around the world? You can take anything you want. The only problem is you have to carry it. And also you have to think about electricity, where you're going to get that from. So that might limit some of your choices. How many books have you written? I've written 13 books. I've written these books for children, and I've written this book for children, which you might enjoy. It's an illustrated. It's got pictures in of all the different adventurers who were my heroes, who inspired me to having adventures. So you might be interested in that. And I'm currently writing a book called The Girl Who Rode the Ocean, about Tom's sister Lucy, who rode across the Atlantic Ocean, which is also a trip I did. I rode across the Atlantic, and now I'm writing that story for children. What made you want to become an author? One, I love reading books. Look, I've got loads of books behind me, and reading about adventures, reading about travel made me want to go and have adventures of my own. It made me want to go and see the world. So I loved reading, and that then made me want to start writing. I also loved going on adventures, and I wanted to try and find a way to earn money, to make money from adventure. And so writing books means that adventure is now my job. And then I also really like writing jobs because it gives me a lot of freedom. In my day, I can just sit here in my little shed outside London, drinking coffee and writing my book. It's a pretty nice job. And I think if you can do anything in life, you need to try and find a job that you really, really love. That's the end of your questions. Thank you very much for sending me these questions. Thank you so much for reading my book, and good luck with your own adventures. Here's a question. Is there somewhere you can go less than 10 kilometres from your front door that you have never been to before? Maybe look on a map. 10 kilometres away, is there something you can do that you've never done before? A place you've never seen before? Because if there is, that means you too can be an explorer, just like Tom, and you can find nature and wildness really close to where you live. So go for it. Go find an adventure close to home. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.